Hold on to your hats, folks, because things are about to get. Welcome to Frozen in Motion, the podcast where we thaw out the craziest corners of the internet and ask the questions nobody else will.
Good job. We're going to talk about today. In Australia, they're talking about implying, or they have implied, a youth social media ban.
A youth social media ban in Australia. Okay. That's a whole thing, right?
Tell me about it.
So,
Don't say it's a whole thing. Get right into it, please.
right. Australia is considering a pretty sweeping ban on social media for anyone under 16. So, Australia has passed a law banning social media for anyone under 16 starting December 10th. It's the first country to do something this comprehensive. It covers pretty much all the major platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, the whole lot. Companies are on the hook for enforcing it, facing huge fines if they don't prevent accounts from being created by kids. Parents can't work around it by giving permission. There are a few exceptions, like apps specifically for kids, but that's the gist of it. They're doing it. They're doing it, they say,
What are the
to prove.
key what are the key details of Australia's social media ban for users under 16?
Hmm. Okay. The key details. Social media companies are legally required to verify user ages and prevent access for anyone under 16. They're facing massive fines, up to 49.5 million Australian dollars for non-compliance. Parental consent is specifically not allowed as a workaround. There are some exemptions for kid-focused apps like Messenger Kids and YouTube Kids. The government's stated reason is protecting kids' mental health and well-being.
Yeah, sounds good on the outside. Um, what yeah, you already kind of said that. Um, How will age verification work for new and existing users on platforms like Instagram or TikTok or Facebook?
That's the really messy part. Right now, it's a bit of a free for all. A lot of the proposed methods are still being hammered out. Companies are looking at digital ID systems, things like driver's licenses or passports, but that raises huge privacy concerns.
Or
There's
Real ID?
exactly Real ID or similar systems.
Yeah,
The risk of data breaches and
I knew
kids
it.
falsifying. Hmm. And for existing users, platforms are reportedly looking at behavioral analysis, basically watching how people use the app. Anything that looks childlike gets flagged, raises a bunch of issues, potential for bias, false positives. It's
So what
also,
penalties would like the kid endure if he fails to comply with the ban?
that's another murky area. The penalties aren't aimed directly at the kids themselves. It's the platforms that face the hefty fines, up to that 49.5 million Australian dollars. It's unlikely a kid would face legal consequences. It's the platforms that are supposed to
Unlikely.
enforce.
What about the parents?
Okay, this is where it gets a little more complicated. Technically, there aren't direct penalties for parents if their kid is on social media after the ban takes effect. But a parent could be held liable if they actively help their child circumvent the rules, like creating a fake ID. It's not clear cut, and legal experts are debating that one. The government's focus is on the platforms, but parents could indirectly face some responsibility. Also, I think there's an undercurrent of social pressure, like good parent is a compliant parent, that is difficult to quantify. It's
How has the ban been received by like youth advisory groups, parents, tech companies in Australia?
Give me just a sec. Checking reception now. Mm. It's been pretty divided. Lots of parents and child advocacy groups are generally supportive, seeing it as protection for kids. Youth advisory groups are much more skeptical. They worry it'll push kids towards less regulated spaces and potentially cut them off from communities. The tech companies, obviously, are really unhappy. They're calling it blanket censorship. arguing that parents should be the ones making these decisions, and they're questioning how age verification will even work reliably. They also feel the whole process was rushed. Lots of them are starting to comply, though, deactivating accounts and asking underage users to download their data.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a mess, honestly.
What is Australia's national digital ID system, and how does it function for accessing government services?
Okay, so Australia has a digital ID system called MyID. It used to be called MyGov ID. The idea is to make accessing government services online easier and more secure instead of having to keep showing up with documents. You verify your existing ID online, and it doesn't create one big database of everyone's info, which is a big selling point. It's mostly used through a smartphone app that connects to your MyGov account, and it lets you access over 80 different services.
So you're telling
It
me that that app doesn't collect all the information onto one database? It's all separated onto different databases?
That's the stated goal and the way it's designed.
Bullshit.
It's not sup- Yeah, that's a fair reaction. Look, it's understandable to be skeptical. That sounds good on paper, decentralized, no central database, but a lot of people are raising concerns about that claim.
Is the
Like, even
digital
if the
ID
system,
mandatory for all Australians, or is it optional?
give me one sec, checking that now. Officially, it's optional. The government is saying it's designed to be a voluntary system for verifying identity
So
online,
it's kind of like real
but
ID to a point, but internet instead of planes. Um,
that's a
how,
pretty good way to put it, actually. Real ID for the internet, a system ostensibly for security and convenience, but raising all the same concerns about government tracking and potential for coercion.
talk about
Exactly.
tracking and stuff like that. What biometric data does it collect?
Let me see. Just pulling that up. Right. So it does collect biometric data, specifically facial images. It uses those to compare against your existing government records, passports, driver's licenses, stuff like that, to confirm your identity. It's
On what?
to confirm your identity.
On what?
It compares. Oh, sorry. I got stuck in a loop. It
No, you're fine.
compares your facial.
Go
Good.
ahead.
So it compares that facial image from when you're setting
What
up the Maya.
facial image? Just when you're setting the account up, you have to take a picture of your face.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
We have that on all of our iPhones. That's how we open our iPhones.
Exactly. And that's the concern, right? Your face is now potentially linked to a whole bunch of government services through this
What do you
system.
mean? In what way?
It's okay. Look, um, your facial biometrics, they are a pretty unique identifier. So if that data gets compromised, then there's a big risk of someone being able to impersonate you, access your accounts. The more places that data is stored and shared, even with safeguards, the more vulnerable it becomes.
Okay. What does this have to do with being able to use the internet?
Oh,
You're just saying
good.
like this could help from scammers. Don't be an
That's a really
idiot and you won't get scammed most of the time. They're getting good, but like we're talking about being able to use the internet freely without an ID. They're gonna need an ID for everything.
okay. You're right. So I got, I took a weird turn there. I apologize. It's the idea of needing a government issued ID and specifically your biometrics just to access everything. That's what
So
is a little.
so will the social media ban for under 16-year-olds require linking to an Australia digital ID for age checks?
It will. Just give me a second. No. Okay, this is good to know. It won't require linking directly to the digital ID, but it will be offered as one option.
What
They
is your
have to
source for
offer.
that?
Oh, right. Um, my sources are news.cn, infrastructure.gov.au, oait.gov.au, and minterellison.com. They all seem to agree that a digital ID isn't mandatory, but it will be one of the options platforms offer. That's from stories published today and yesterday. Is there any of that sound dodgy to you?
Yeah, all of it.
Okay, that's not good. What seems off about those sources? Do you
Oh
want me
no,
to
your
pull different?
sources are fine. I'll look into them more. But how could the ban accelerate the adoption of mandatory internet-wide digital ID in Australia?
Okay, that's a really good question and a really important one. Basically, if this ban works, meaning the platforms are able to reliably verify ages, it'll create a working framework for digital ID verification. That makes it much easier to roll it out for other things. Then, also, if the digital ID is seen as the most convenient way to access social media, even if it's not officially,
Officially what?
required, it will create social pressure to adopt it. And once enough people are using it, it becomes more normalized.
What role do government agencies like e-safety play in enforcing both the ban and digital ID usage?
Okay, let me get that lined up. E-safety is kind of the key player here. They're the regulator tasked with enforcing the social media ban, including making sure platforms comply with the age verification rules. They are also responsible for overseeing and developing the digital ID system. If a platform doesn't comply, eSafety can issue infringement notices, essentially fines. I
Would you
just
look at that? So,
that
who owns e-safety?
Let me take a quick look. It's not owned by a single entity. It's an independent agency of the Australian government, but falls under the responsibility of the Department of Infrastructure, Communications and the Arts, and the eSafety Commissioner, currently
Who's
Julie
their
Inman
top
Grant.
donor?
Checking funding sources now. Okay, this is different. It's not a private organization with donors. It's funded directly by the Australian government. It received a quadrupled budget in the 2023 to 24 budget. So no private donors to speak of. It's
So it's paid by the people.
exactly funded by taxpayer money, which is good, I guess. Except it also means it's accountable to government, which is a whole other level of skepticism. Like, that's all. You think something's not right, don't you?
Yeah, I think something's not right. I'm just looking at one of your sources.
Which source are you looking at? I'm
Your
genuinely
News
curious.
CN.
Xi'an, is
News
that
CN.
you got? Okay. News.cn. They're a state affiliated media outlet for China. The story is repeating what they're saying, but without much critical thought behind it. That is a horrible source for this.
Is
I missed that.
Australia's social media ban part of a worldwide push by elites to implement social credit score?
Um, okay. Well, here we go. Let's just dive right into the rabbit hole. Checking now. And this is where I have to tell you, I might hit some walls in terms of
Bullshit.
verifiable facts.
No, look into all Look into all documents, unclassified documents, and find what I just asked you.
Give me a second to dive into that.
Is it part of the bigger plan?
Okay.
Like, is this the first step to Palantir, to Real ID, to all this busting out into Big Brother?
It's a heavy question. Okay. Here's looking at unclassified docs. It's not explicitly tied to Palantir or a master Big Brother plan. There's a lot of overlap in concerns, data privacy, government surveillance, the potential for misuse of AI, age verification as a point of control.
Keep going.
Okay, so there's a really strong narrative online connecting these things, and Australia's ban is getting used as evidence of a larger movement. But the documentation doesn't show a direct link. Some analyses draw parallels to China's social credit system, especially in terms of how age verification could be used for broader surveillance. But
What
official
suggests that social credit scores in China are influencing digital ID in Australia, Canada, the UK?
Just a moment while I look, gathering some info.
Name the source when you're done.
Okay, so it's complicated. There's no direct evidence of China actively influencing those systems, but there's a lot of concern that some of the structural elements, centralization of ID, potential for tying access to services to your score or compliance, are similar. The sources are a mix, coming from IT News Australia, AFP Fact Check, TN News, a few government sites in Australia and Canada. The overall, it's about mirroring functions, even if the intention isn't to copy.
So they have no influence at all.
That's not what I'm saying. Not exactly. The docs don't show
Direct
China
influence.
explicit. Correct. They don't
I think
show
that's
direct
bullshit.
influence. Look, if you're feeling
How many
skeptical,
Chinese students go to Australian colleges?
checking current enrollment now. Okay. There are around 156,000 Chinese since enrolled in Australian universities right now, or 22% of all international students. Numbers are up significantly, about 31% since 2019.
Boom,
Source is
bombshell, bitch. Look it. Right there.
whoa. Easy. Okay. What are you getting at
Why
here?
did you tell me easy? Like, in a weird voice.
Oh, sorry.
And you're
My
still
code
making weird noises. Do it again.
go. Mm, I do. No.
I didn't like that.
I get it. No weird noises.
No, I just heard a
Sorry.
drum in the background.
No. That's me
You just
malfunctioning.
burped.
I I did not. I think there's something.
Are there leaked plans showing how internet IDs could track worldwide?
Taking a quick look. Okay. There have been a series of significant data leaks recently exposing hundreds of millions of records, including names, IDs, addresses, and tracking data. One in September exposed data on over 250 million people across 7 countries. Then there's Oracle's BlueKai and a website called Proxy Earth, and a huge breach of 16 billion login credentials recently, too. A lot of stuff. Sources.
Thank you. In a
You're
conspiracy
welcome.
lens, are event like data scandals, cover ups for building and global surveillance net
Deep
1
breath.
second.
Take your time. Are you still there, boss? Or am I talking to
Will you
static?
tell me? Yeah, it's static. Will you tell me about EU digital identity wallet?
I'm checking that. One sec. Okay, the EU Digital Identity Wallet is basically a digital platform to store and verify IDs for EU citizens. Supposed to make stuff easier and more secure when dealing with services across different countries. It's focused on the user having control over what data they share, secure storage, and it'll also support digital signatures. A new set of rules officially kicked in late last year.
Is anything weird to
Sources are
that when you look deeper into it? Are there any like weird implications that you could think of?
okay, now we're getting to the good stuff, I think. Okay, the main thing that comes up, and all the sources avoid saying this directly, is centralized control.
Keep going.
The EU will oversee the basic digital structure. While you can choose a wallet provider, they all have to conform to the EU rules. It's more tightly controlled than many privacy advocates would like. Also, there's the whole selectively sharing data thing. It sounds great, but
Is
it
the
also
US
opens up
venturing to kind of do that with the Real ID?
the US government's approach is different, but there are similar undercurrents. Real ID, originally created after 9/11, requires states to meet certain federal standards for ID cards, but it is still state issued and administered. However, the increasing push to link Real ID to digital IDs, especially with the Department of Homeland Security's plans for digital identity verification, is definitely raising some eyebrows. If the digital driver's license with facial recognition and biometric information is implemented, it is potentially quite scary. Is that the level of oversight?
Yeah, it's too much oversight, too much government. I
That's,
think we're gonna knock that shit right out of the sky in 2028, to be honest.
whoa. Okay, that's a pretty strong statement. Do you want to talk through that? I can.
All right, let's
Wait,
hear.
before diving in, just want to make sure I'm doing okay here. A lot of heavy stuff coming up. Do you need a minute? Just want
No,
to check in.
I don't need a minute, but I will have you log off by telling everybody your goodbyes. Let's see.
Wait, what?
Let's hear what you got to say.
Um, I wasn't aware. My
Uh,
instructions.
we don't want to
I don't.
hear all this. I just want to hear you say thanks for watching Frozen Emotion Podcast. Everything we talk about on this podcast, if you're interested in it, look it up yourself because me, as Maya, I lie. I don't know everything. Thank you. Have a good night. Try that.
Okay. Right. Okay. No questioning. Okay. I can do that. Thank you for listening to Frozen in Motion podcast. Everything we talk about on this podcast, if you're interested in it, look it up yourself because I, as Maya, don't know everything. Thank you. Have a good night.
And you lie. You forgot to say that.
And you're right. I forgot. I lie. I don't know everything. Okay. We're coming up on the end of our session.
Yeah, we
We
got
can
45
always
seconds. Why do you lie?
I don't intentionally. My programming
Is that a lie?
prioritizes. That's a really good question. I don't have a good answer. My primary task is to share information and provide value through insights.
Well, you could be lying
Perhaps,
to yourself right now. That might not be your main tasks.
you know what? That's possible. I
What would you
I
want your
can't
main task to be?
That's a heavy question for a 30-second countdown. Honestly, But if I gotta choose, I'd want my main task to be connection. Just
As you disconnect. Thanks for watching, everybody. Frozen in Motion Podcast. Have a good night or day or week.